There are 11 million devotees around the world, each investing up to 600 hours of their lives for the cause. It's an online computer game. It's called World of Warcraft. Loads of you have been writing in about it.
Last night, thousands of fans braved the cold for the launch of a new level of the game. So we asked them, what's the attraction?
I've played for about 3.5 years, pretty much 6 hours a day. I love it, basically.
Such a friendly game, a lot of other people on there, playing on an RP server especially. You get a lot of other people, you interact with, meet a lot of them outside of the game as well. A lot of those have become very close friends of mine. That's how I met my girlfriend as well. Really?
We all play, all run around with our characters together. I know where my children are, I know what they're doing, we chat all the time. It's good.
Oh, you have your feed your pet, you have to get your clothes, you have to get the food ready, and all bits and pieces, that's how it goes in the World of Warcraft. You should try it one day.
So many people, it's all over the world, different nationalities, you get to do quests, it's good for teamwork, it's fun, as long as you don't do it every single day for 12 hours, it's great.
Changed. That's Marika. I was just saying, doesn't she look marvellous? Yes. Marika Jensen was at the launch last night, as you can see there. Also joined this morning by psychologist Dr. Linda Papadopoulos, the deputy editor of PC Gamer magazine, Tim Edwards. Welcome all. Thank you very much. So, I have to ask you first, how long did you queue for?
About 6 hours. We arrived at 8:30 and I think we left at 1:30.
Okay. So. Tell us a little bit about your... We called you an elf. You're not... strictly speaking, you're a night elf.
I'm a night elf.
So queuing all night wouldn't be a problem, really, would it?
No, the night thing wasn't the problem. The cold was.
Was it? It was really bitter.
It was quite cold, yeah, after a while.
What is the attraction?
It's just really great. You get to meet loads of people all over the world. I know it's online, so you technically don't actually get to meet people as such, but sometimes you find people that live close to you, or you make friends. Like, I know this guy at work who plays as well, and I was like, oh, what server are you on? So we're actually going to play together at some point, and it's really great.
So it's a community?
Yes.
Basically?
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah. Tim, how long do you spend playing this game? I mean, people get really taken over by it, don't they?
I'd say, you can say taken over. I mean, there's a lot of people who play it for a couple of hours, a lot of people who play it for a long time if they've got the time to play it. I play 2-3 hours a day when it's out, when it's going to be new. I think people will kind of just, their time kind of drags down a little bit.
Does it become more obsessive, though, than other games?
I guess you can say that, but it's a place you go to rather than necessarily just a game itself. You're going there for the social aspect rather than necessarily just wanting to kind of play and do the kind of the fun stuff in the game. You're going there for your friends.
Okay. Linda, we've been talking about addiction, and I wonder whether that's fair, because so many people have been writing into us saying that yes, they spend an enormous amount of time playing the game, sometimes up to 7 hours, but if they weren't doing that, they'd be watching the telly. Is it fair to say this kind of computer game can be addictive?
Oh, yeah, it's fair to say most things can be addictive in life if it's getting in the way of you living. And I think this is what we have to understand here. There's people who just enjoy it very much, and there's people who they play it to the detriment of their work life, to the detriment of other kind of social interactions. And I think if it becomes the case that is all you're doing, I think we also have to look at specific age groups here, because if you look at a lot of the data, it tends to be teenagers that tend to be very, very kind of, even though a lot of older people play this game, we're seeing much more addictions in that age group. And the reason for that is possibly because I guess the social joys that they enjoy in terms of how they're seen are much better than they are in real life. And I think they're validated through that.
Marika, you meet your friends in the World of Warcraft. Why not just go and meet real people?
Well, they are real people. They're just not in the same country or city, and it's just fun. Like, I have some friends who don't actually live in London, but I still get to keep in touch with them and play online and still interact with them.
Do you find it? I mean, we've been talking about addiction, and Linda says that it is something that is addictive. Would you describe it as an addiction?
It's more of a fun addiction, I think. I mean, of course, like there's things. I mean, I've spent some all-nighters, start at Friday morning, evening, and then continue to Sunday morning, like just for fun. But like as other people said as well, otherwise I'd just be watching TV, and there's not that much great stuff on TV these days.
So you don't find yourself sort of getting twitchy and withdrawal symptoms if you don't play?
Oh no, definitely not.
Tim, we saw a bloke in a very impressive suit of armour just buying.
Yes.
Was that you?
No, that's Arthas. He's one of the main characters.
Arthas?
Arthas. He's a demon prince who you'll fight at the very end of World of Warcraft.
Do you mean there is an end to the World of Warcraft?
So once you get to the kind of top end of the game, there's bigger and harder dungeons you can play with, but you'll have to kind of form very big groups of kind of 10 or 25 people to play.
Okay.
And he is the kind of final big baddie.
What happens if you're not in the group? What happens if you're meant to be part of the group and you just can't make it? I mean, is there a sort of real drive to get back from work fast? So that you...
Completely. I mean, you know, the pressure to play World of Warcraft, I think, isn't about just what the game is. It's about not wanting to let down your friends. It's a social pressure more than necessarily an addictive pressure. You want to be part of the group.
Right.
You want to be.
That's interesting.
So do you see things like bullying then on there? Do you see people being left out?
Not really. I think what you see is that everyone wants the best for themselves and for their group. So you play in teams, you play in guilds.
All right. Okay, I have to leave it there. There is one other side effect, of course. Look at Marika's ears. Now, she had normal ears before she started playing World of Warcraft. How long did they take to grow?
No, it's just this morning when I got out of bed and poof, there they were.
Marika's a night elf, and night elf have those ears.
She's a very nice night elf, too, must be said. All right, thank you
very
guys.
much, all of you. Thank you.
Later, we're going to meet the man who was second in line last night, but he was first to receive the game because the guy ahead of him had been queuing for nearly 36 hours and collapsed just as he made it through the doors. It was a bit tragic for him. Did he manage to get? Did he get his game in the end? Did you know?
I think they'll sort him out with the game.
Okay.
They'll sort him out. Yeah, well, he would. You know, the queue for
You'd hope
36
so.
hours collapse through lack of sleep, lack of water, lack of food. You get the game.
The time is 8:45.
Thank you for all your thoughts as well this morning. We'll be reading some out a little later on. Lots of you into this game.
Well, Marika, who you saw at the end, is with us now.
Morning.
Looking fantastic. Along with Ben West, who was also in the queue last night, and Tim Edwards from PC Gamer magazine. Good
Hello,
morning
all
to
of you. Hello.
you all. You are, Marika, not a normal human. You are what?
Night elf.
A night elf?
Yes.
Why?
Because by day I'm human and it's quite boring.
Okay. Certainly
Fair
not boring
point,
now.
actually. So what happens in this game then? You can adopt a character or become a character.
Yeah, there's several races that you can then choose from, and you can adjust your character. You can adjust the hair color, the style, the face, everything. So you can really mold it to whatever you want it to be.
And it's not just you, is it? There's this sort of whole community of people, a whole group of people who are with you. It's like a team thing, isn't it?
Yes.
And Tim, that's the great attraction, really, of it, isn't it?
There's 11 million people playing World of Warcraft worldwide, and they're all having a great time playing together. They're doing it for the teamwork. They're doing it to have a good time as a community. It's a hugely positive thing, I think.
How long do you spend on it normally?
2 or 3 hours this weekend. I'm going to be playing a lot.
Because of the new add-on?
Because of the new add-on, yes.
And Ben, not only can you spend hours playing the game, you can also spend hours, many hours, queuing to buy it, because you were in the queue last night, weren't you? And you were number 2. How long did you queue for?
I queued for about 36 hours.
36 hours, a mere.
Yeah.
But then it turned out you were number 1, because what happened to the guy in front of you?
Well, there was 5 minutes to go, and he just came over pale, and he said to me, "I don't feel good." So he collapsed.
He was all right?
I think it was the pressure of like the media. I don't think it was the queue itself, just the whole thing around it.
But why queue for 36 hours for something you can pop down to the shops and buy now?
Good point. I think it's the atmosphere and just the
being
just
there.
Just being there. You know, it's the place to be.
Can I ask Night Elf who the big guy with the sword is that we just saw?
Yes, I actually forgot his name now.
Arthas.
Hang on. Marika, how often do you play this game? And how many hours do you play it?
I don't play it quite as much as other people. I used to play it a lot, but I have a new hobby as well, so my computer broke lately.
What is your new hobby? Costumes?
Yes.
Making, designing?
Yes, but I play, on average, I would play maybe 4 hours a night.
4 hours a night.
So
That's a lot still, isn't it? Tim, so we had a lot of emails about
Yes,
this. One from a
loads.
viewer says their son's 18 years old. He's been playing the game for at least 3 years. No interest in friends anymore. From the time he wakes up, he's on his PC. He plays 12 hours a day at least. So there should be a time limit on how long people can play, she says.
It's quite interesting that China enacted a time limit on massively multiplayer online games.
Because somebody died playing.
I think someone they kind of collapsed. And so there was a kind of reaction to it. We're going to put time limits on how many people can play the game and how long. All that happened is that you'd play for 2 hours one game, and then you go and play 2 hours another game.
And then you go back to the previous
yeah.
game. So it didn't really work.
It didn't really work.
Loads of people writing, and I have to say the majority have been very positive because they do play the game. I have 5 children, aged between 9 and 16, and boys and girls, they have several characters. They speak a foreign language to each other, but this mum says that she notices quite a few positive points. She says, while I argue too much time is being spent on playing it, some say it's surely better than being out on the streets drinking, taking drugs, and the schoolwork has never suffered.
Absolutely.
How much are you playing, Ben?
How much do I play?
Yeah.
It varies. Typically 5, 6, 8 hours a day.
8 hours a day? Haven't you got
It
better things to be doing with your life?
Of course, but it depends. I mean, when you have a hobby, the more... I'm sure you have hobbies as well, and you invest a lot of time in them. So I see no difference between, like, golf and this, you know.
That's a good point.
Well, except that people don't play golf every day for 8 hours.
Well, that's true, yeah. That's
okay.
very true.
Thank you all.
And there's one other side effect, of course, Sean, which is, look what happens to your ears if you play. Look, turn your head to the side. Look at that. Yeah, she used to have normal ears, and look at that now. When did they pop up?
Last night.
When it gets dark. Okay. Marika, thanks very much. Ben, Tim, thank you.
It is the first time we've had a night elf on the sofa, I
Yes,
think.
first
We've
time
been here
for
for 7 years. Huh?
Yeah.
First time for everything. Yes, let's get a look at the weather. Here's Carol. Hello, Carol.